Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another deck profile. Today we are going to be deck profiling Zoodiac, and I've been playing this for the last couple of weeks throughout this format. I think that this list is actually a pretty solid list. You have a pretty decent chance at winning tournaments with this, so you can go ahead and give it a try. There's one card I'm missing for it, and I will go over that in a minute when we get to that point in the video. So for the Zodiac Engine, I'm playing one Rap here, 3 Thoroughblade, 3 Whiptail, and 3 Ram. So this is what I've decided on the Zoo Engine. I initially, when I first started picking this deck up for this format, I think I initially cut like a Ram and I believe like a Thoroughblade, because I wanted to fit a lot of other cards in. But then I was noticing that I wasn't drawing Zodiac cards fast enough, or not fast enough, but as consistent enough. So I decided to bring it back to the initial full ratios of 3-3-1, and then also obviously playing the Tenki and the Barrage. You could definitely, if you wanted to, try to cut it down, but I definitely wouldn't recommend cutting more than 2, personally. Then for other one-ofs, I guess we're just playing Pankratops. I mean, for at least monsters. We'll get to the rest here in a minute. So this also plays a huge hand trap lineup, which is insane. So we're playing 3 Drolls, 3 Ash, 3 Phantasme, 3 D-Shifter, and 3 Artifact Lancia. So this seems like a lot. It might seem overkill, especially because a lot of these kind of conflict, but not too bad, right? So Droll, Ash kind of conflict, but the idea here is that you're going to be using these over multiple turns, not just one turn, right? So if you draw a Droll and an Ash, you're fine, because then you can draw them, and then the next turn hit them with an Ash. Sometimes you can actually even use both in the same turn, which is pretty nice. Phantasmes is just really nice to just kind of fix your hand, especially because a lot of decks are playing Link monsters this format, especially Dragon Link. D-Shifter and the Artifact Lancia, they definitely conflict, right? So Lancia, you can't banish. D-Shifter, you always banish or whatever. So it's kind of conflicting, but the idea here is that you just activate one of them and then your opponent skips their turn. If you think about it, if you activate Lancia against Dragon Link, it's kind of rough because they can't really get into their Levianeer. They can't do other things obviously the baby dragons, chaos space stuff kind of hurts the deck. So this kind of hits that pretty hard. And the same thing with D-Shifter. If you D-Shifter, they can't Chaos Space either. So it's it does kind of conflict, since if you draw both of these, it kind of sucks. But it's really not that big of a deal, because you're just passing their hopefully just passing turn. And then the next turn you shotgun the other one. And then they're stuck with another turn that they just have to pass on. So that's the idea. I think that it worked out honestly really well throughout this format that I've been playing, and I think that those 15 are really solid. You could also try Nibiru if you wanted, but that's just a side note. 3 copies of Tenki and the 1 copy of Barrage just for consistency spells. It's the same thing with Desires. Desires is really great in this deck. Everything you can banish, it doesn't matter. There's nothing that you need in the deck. Maybe Rat here is the only argument that I could see, but it's whatever. Then we are playing it going secondless, so I decided to opt for 3 Dark Ruler No More, 3 Cosmic, and finally 1 Call by the Grave. Just as the 40th card in the extra deck, or extra deck, in the main deck. Because I decided to try and go second. If they set up negates, Dark Ruler them, hit them with a Zeus, and it's kind of just GG from there. Also, Cosmic Cyclones are pretty good this format, especially against the Dragon Link board. A lot of times they're playing Tidying, or they're playing what's the other one? The Phantomknight's Fogblade, and you can Cosmic it, and then you're fine to go from there for the most part. So I think that that's also pretty solid. Let's move on to the extra decks. So we're playing obviously the 1 Trident. If there's multiples, we'd obviously be playing multiples. Just 2 Thoroughblade, or not Thoroughblade, 2 Boardbow. I think that 2 is fine. Sometimes you can honestly get away with 1 if you wanted, but I would recommend playing 2. 3 copies of Chakanine and 3 copies of Tiger Mortar, and finally 1 copy of Hammer Kong. And I guess this is an honorable Zoo card, Drill Driver Vespanada. This is a really nice card that sometimes you can make. It's also really, really good, especially late game. The reason why we're also playing 3 Chalk, 3 Tiger, I know it seems kind of overkill, but basically as long as you have a Zoodiac, you have access to Trident throughout the game. All you need is just a Trident in the graveyard, and as long as you have a Zoo, you can put a Zoo on field, overlay for Chakanine, and then Chuck and I detach to bring back the Dryden, and then you can overlay a Tiger, and then Tiger detach to attach to the Dryden, and then you always have a pop on the field, and then you can just put your Drill Driver on top. So that's like what the idea is behind like the 3-3 ratio for those, and it's honestly like really good, because then you can pierce, and then if they out your Drill Driver, you get another like Zoodiac back. Like there's just a lot of situations where it's really, really good. And then for our next Xyz monster that we're playing, we're not playing just one, we're not playing just two, but we're playing 3 copies of Zeus. So this is actually insane. You could honestly just be fine with just playing the 2. But I decided to play 3 in this list, and the reason for that is just because a lot of people only like play 2 and a lot of people expect 2. So once they get rid of the 2 copies, they're like, all right, there's no more Zeus to deal with, it's whatever. And then you just, overlay some monsters, summon the Zeus, attack, or summon a Zoo attack, and then you just overlay the Zeus, and then they're like, what? Like, you have 3 Zeus? And then sometimes it can just be the winning, situation. And sometimes it has been that, so it's been really nice. The last card we're playing is Megaclops, because a lot of decks, occasionally just can't out this card. So it's, nice to make. Sometimes Invoked has a really, really hard time outing this. Moving on into the side deck, we're playing 3 Nibiru, 3 Solemn Strike, 3 Twin Twisters, 3 Ice Dragon's Prison, and then for 1-ofs we're playing Solemn Judgment, Macro, and Imperial Order. Solemn Judgment should be Dimension Fisher. I don't have a copy, or if I do have a copy, I don't know where it is, so I would highly recommend playing that. Obviously, the Twin Twisters should probably be the Lightning Storm, but I guess Twin Twisters works just as fine, honestly. I don't think that there's a big argument to play Lightning Storms over Twin Twisters this format specifically, just because these are nice going first or second, whereas Lightning Storms are only good going second. So that's my thought process. I don't think there's anything that I'd really change with this. This should be Di-Fi, and then you could maybe have an argument for these being Judgments or these being Judgments, but I think that this works out really good. A lot of times you just side in these trap cards over your hand traps, or just your Dark Rulers when you expect to go first. So that's the idea with the deck profile. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys later. See ya.